it feels like a direct-to-video sequel. That's what it is. It kind of harkens back to the days of when Disney was releasing a lot of those VOD sequels to their hit Renaissance era movies. You know, like Beauty and the Beast and like Lion King and Hunchback of Notre Dame. The thing is, though, at the very least, like, I can't speak for all those movies, Little Mermaid and stuff, but the Lion King ones were pretty damn good, right? I've sung their praises, chat. Like, okay, in terms of the animation, not as good as the films, but the stories are pretty inspired, the voice acting is pretty good, and the songs, surprisingly, were great. I mean, everyone remembers in Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, that zebra, deception, disgrace. It's like, damn, zebra, you good. It's like amazing.
Deception, disgrace.
Before I go ahead and jump into my review for Moana 2, and heavy emphasis on that colon, Electric Boogaloo, I want to talk about the original Moana, all right? You know, the first Moana is an amazing animated film, an excellent movie overall. It has everything you want in an animated movie. Just gorgeous animation, a great story, fun and well-written characters, creative and imaginative action sequences, a wonderful score, and songs that are incredible. And it has a lot of heart to it, right? You know, it was one of the best animated movies of the previous decade, which is saying something because we got a lot of great animated films in the 2010s. And just also the year it released, it was one of the great animated films that year. And that was like a pretty impressive year for animation, if I recall. Like, I think, God, that year, that 2016, right? It was 2016, which also just saw the release of Disney's Zootopia, which was wonderful, which I think took the Academy Award that year for Best Animated Film. But then you also had Laika's Kubo and the Two Strings. You also had Laika's Kubo and the Two Strings, which was also great. And I love those. I love all three of those movies. Probably easily in my top 10 for that year, and probably most likely my top 5. And Moana was just one of my favorite movies that came out during that time. It was very reminiscent of the Renaissance era Disney films of my childhood, you know, but it was also fresh because of its animation style, obviously, and the exploration of Polynesian islander culture, right? That was very unique. We don't often see a lot of that. You know, it's just a great film all around. And I, like others, welcomed a sequel, the idea of a sequel, a return to this world that felt so rich and vibrant, so new. But, you know, the years went by, and no sequel happened. They're thinking, like, oh, maybe they're taking their time with it. But not too long ago, it was announced that Disney was doing a sequel series for Disney Plus, you know, which I'm not against per se. It's just, you know, I would have preferred a movie. But then stuff started coming out that it wouldn't feature songs from Lin-Manuel Miranda, which, you know, I feel like he's been a little overexposed. We've heard a lot of his stuff, but his music for Moana is incredible. But apparently, he wasn't going to return to do the music for this series. And the other thing was, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wasn't going to reprise his role for Maui because they weren't going to pay him what he was paid for the original. They were going to recast him, basically. Plus, it was during the Bob Chapek era of Disney, which did not last very long, where everything Disney made seemingly was just going to Disney Plus. They just had this glut of content for Disney Plus, and so much of it just really wasn't good. There were a couple exceptions, obviously, no doubt about that, but just so much of it was just like bland, and it just felt like they were milking these huge franchises without putting any effort into it, right? You know, what made all those things, those movies or whatever they might be, properties so great, it just didn't seem to be there. In any case, Bob, Iger eventually came back in and said, nope, Moana is theatrical. And it's like, oh, good, all right, so they're going to scrap the series. Maybe they'll kind of release it as shorts or something, and, you know, they're going to just do a new movie. You'll have to wait a little bit longer and be like, cool. But that's not what happened. That's not what's happened with Moana 2. Pretty much he said, take what you have from this series and make this a movie. And the episodes that were made for that series were turned into Moana 2. And then The Rock also returned to voice the demigod, Maui, because they're like, all right, well, we can pay him now. A very just troubling and convoluted way to make a film, to say the least, in my opinion. And I'm going to be brutally honest about this movie. Moana 2 is a huge disappointment across the board. Aside from the animation, which is good. Some good animated bits in it, no doubt about it. Everything else about it doesn't work. From the lackluster story and contrived writing to the annoying supporting characters who are seemingly just there to grate on your nerves, but also, and this is the thing that surprised me, I'm like, okay, even though they didn't get Lin-Manuel Miranda, you still expect the music to be good, right? And there's a lot of great Disney films where they have some songs that are just bangers. The music is bad in this movie. Like, noticeably bad. It honestly reminded me, like, in terms of the songs, it reminded me of Wish, which I guess, did that come out last year? I think that came out last year. That movie was so forgettable that I think I forgot that it came out last year. But that movie was also a Disney musical, anime musical, and I couldn't remember a single goddamn song in that movie. There's probably only one good new song in the film. The villain, not villain song. We'll cover her more in a bit. But everything else is just so uninspired, trite, or just downright bad. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, because I didn't tell you what the plot is. For those that want to know about the story, it takes place several years after the events of the original Moana. Moana is a hero to her people. They have embraced their heritage of being, sailing the seas and stuff. And she has a little sister now who is talking like this, and she loves her big sis, and Moana loves little sis, right? And everything's great, everyone's happy. It's really cool. But Moana, she gets a horrifying vision. Because the thing is, her tribe, her people are isolated from the rest of the world. And if they remain so, they'll go extinct because they'll have no one else left to breed with. And when that happens, everyone's just going to die. She's like, all right, we got to find some people to shtup. All right, this is a mission. We got to fuck some people. So in this animated film. And so she is tasked by one of her ancestors, the last great, sailor of the seas, to go out there to find this island, which is under control of this purple lightning god who's a dick. All right. And once she races this island along with Maui, who needs to help her with this, that will then cause all these civilizations to be connected to each other. That's the premise of the movie. At least that's what they've explained and there's a lot of exposition. There is so much copious exposition in this film. A lot of telling and not a lot of showing. And it immediately when the first 20 or so minutes, I'm like, that's not good. That's a bad sign. That's a sign they're trying to keep this budget down because of a TV show, so they can't afford to have all these crazy animated, bits in the beginning, which I found very, very frustrating. They say that for later on in the film, but still, it's like, come on, man. But that's the story, in itself. And the thing that I found so frustrating in regards to Moana and Maui, who are, the original actors, reprise both those characters. But both Moana and Maui had character arcs in the original movie, right? Like, Moana was going on this journey to find herself. She had this passion for sailing, that her people were against, were afraid of, right? She had to learn to do this. She had to be brave. She had to go on this, momentous quest. And, Maui as a character, he had to be humbled. He was very arrogant. He has a lot of issues and things, and he had to deal with them. And he dealt with them in a very positive way while journeying with Moana. They have no arc in this movie. neither of them, they eventually, like, Maui's not in a lot. Like, he doesn't, I mean, he's in it a little bit in the beginning, and then it's not until, like, the halfway point that he comes back in, like, you know, clearly, like, all right, to save money, we can't use Dwayne The Rock Johnson that much, so have him with, like, half the screen time that he had in the original film, which I found frustrating, because he is good as this character. He is fun as this character. But neither of them actually develop or become better or have any semblance of an arc. And I found that incredibly frustrating while watching. It's very, very noticeable. But one of the things that is very apparent is how annoying the new supporting characters are, the sidekicks. Because as, you know, Moana goes on this epic quest, which is her biggest quest yet. The other quest, bullshit. It's a bullshit quest. It's not even as good as this one. They keep telling us that. I'm like, I don't, you know, you keep saying it, you keep telling us that, but I don't believe you. And so in order to go on this quest, she needs a bigger boat, and she needs 3 annoying sidekicks who are all just one-dimensional. Like her first sidekick is a cranky old farmer. And his thing is, I'm grumpy and I can't swim. Those are the things that define him. Grumpy, can't swim, and he likes plants, so that's 3. Other one is a kooky inventor girl, right? And she's kind of like, you know, manic, and she talks really fast, and she's annoying, right? And that's her. She's always trying to, she's got like ADHD, Chad. It's like, just fucking put all the Ritalin in her goddamn gob, and maybe she'll relax, but they don't have Ritalin because it takes place thousands of years ago. Anyway. She's annoying. And then you have, like, the worst of them, which is the fanboy. And that's all he is in the movie, the fanboy guy, where he is just constantly lusting and yearning for Maui. Like, he's doing fan art drawings. He's writing, there's, like, several fan fiction jokes in the movie. And he wants to fuck Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's what he wants. He just wants to shtup Maui, and it's very annoying, and that's pretty much I'll tell you right now, he does not get to do it. He gets to touch him. He gets to lust after him. He gets to massage his pecs, and Maui is justifiably creeped out along with little Maui tattoo guy, but that's pretty much his character, and they're terrible. Anytime they pop up, I'm like, and they pop up a lot, I found them grating and incredibly annoying. There is one other sidekick character that's introduced at the end of the first third, who I really liked. And it's so funny because this character says nothing. They're completely silent. And it's this little coconut warrior guy. Remember the little coconut warriors from the previous film? I think they call them Kakamura. I think they're called Kakamuras. Well, they basically get a little Kakamura friend in the movie, and he's awesome. He's actually really funny. Like, all this stuff that he's competent. Like, he's competent, he's not stupid. They actually do some really cool visual gags with him in the film that are actually funny. And he's just not annoying. You're charmed by him. And he doesn't say a goddamn line, because he's actually, like, clever, like, when they use them and how they use him. But all the other 3, it's like, oh my God, give me a break. I don't want to see them in this movie. They take away from the entire experience. The villains are also very underwhelming. They introduce kind of like 2 villains in the movie. The first villain, turns out not to be, I guess, spoiler, who's not really a villain. It's like, I'm a villain because I'm under the thumb of the big bad of the movie that you don't even see. But we're introduced to this bat lady, whose name I don't know. I actually like her character. Like, her whole thing is, like, she's like a bat, like, aesthetic. She has, like, this huge flock of bats. They're always around her. She, like, has this kind of, like, cape that she's like a Polynesian Dracula. Like a Polynesian lady Dracula, Chad. And I actually really liked her voice acting. I liked her design, how she moved around. She moves around very differently. Like, she moves around like a bat, you know, which is very different from any of the characters in the movie. And she has the one good song in the film. It's the only one that I went, oh, this one. Because all the songs beforehand, annoying as hell. But her song was pretty goddamn good. It's called Get Lost. Just Get Lost. And I thought it was really interesting, really fun. It's the one that she kind of shares with Moana. I liked her character quite a bit. You know, it's like, all right, I want to see this character again. I want to see more of her. And she's very brief role. She's like, comes in the beginning, kind of in the middle, and after that, she's kind of gone, which is disappointing. And then they have big purple lightning guy. I don't know what his name is. They say his name a lot, but we never fucking see him in the film, which is very weird. You introduce this villain that we actually, like, never see. I guess we kind of Like he shoots down like purple lightning bolt tornadoes in the third act, to prevent the characters from, completing their mission. But he has no personality, gets no voice lines. He's just really nothing to him, which I found very, very disappointing. Very lackluster villain. I would have preferred it was just Batley. They gave her all the stuff to do. At least she was, interesting for the most part for what they gave her. And as I said before, the songs in the movie, they're just bad. I guess the last time I felt this way was for Disney's Wish, which came out last year, but so many of the songs, with the exception of the Not Villain song, they're just so lackluster. It's like even like the first song that they have with like Moana singing, it's just something about the lyrics and everything. I was like, this isn't doing it. It's just like this is my inspirational song that I'm doing, sing about my people, how much I love my people, and I love my sister, and how I need to save them. It's like that, and it's like, okay, it's not as good. They have a horrible song where Moana is out there on the seas with her 3 annoying friends. That's what this movie should be called. This movie should be called Moana and Her 3 Annoying Friends because they cause nothing but trouble. Inevitably the movie's just like, oh, well, you just have to rely on the fact that they're so quirky because, that might come in handy and that happens in the movie, but it's just so lazy. You don't care because they're so annoying. But there's a whole song in the movie where the 3 are just driving Moana crazy, but instead of murdering them, which is what I would have done, I wish Moana, in my darker Moana 2, I think it would have been fucking awesome if she killed them. If she killed them and like stored their meat, in her boat, that would have been awesome. That would have been incredible. I would have been like, hell yeah, let's fucking go, Disney. But they're annoying the hell out of her. And so she decides to sing the song about friendship. That's what it is. And it's the old man like, I don't like songs. He doesn't like anything. But then the other two, the fucking ADHD girl's going off. And then the fanboy guy, he's finished, jerking off to his latest, Maui mural. And he joins in the song. And it is like nails in a goddamn chalkboard. It is terrible. And then Maui gets a song. And like, listen, The Rock's not a singer, okay? He's not a singer. But despite that, they did provide him with a song that was really catchy. You're welcome. Like, that was like really good. He gets a song in this. I couldn't even tell you what the lyrics were. It's something about, put some pep in your step, kid. It was like one of those songs. Like, I'm here to motivate you now. You motivated me. I'm here to motivate you. And and you could tell too that The Rock was just struggling. Like, he was struggling to sing these lyrics. It was kind of like, ooh. It's like, this is the only take we could use. It was just this one. Could we not done of, like, several different versions? Maybe that's what they did. But it's rough. It's not good. But again, most of the songs in this are not good. Aside from the villain, not villain song. Bat Lady, she was great. And inevitably, what it all comes down to, chat, what the movie feels like is several episodes of a TV show spliced together. And that's exactly what it is. I was actually watching the film and looking for the points at which I'm like, is this where the episode ends? And they cut and they fade to black, or they cut to black. And then it's like, all right, well, wait until next week, kids, for the next episode of Moana, right? Moana and the Adventures of Her 3 Annoying Friends. And I think there's like, I was trying to spot. I think I kind of spotted like maybe like once or twice. And eventually I just gave up because I was like, who cares? I'm going to put too much effort into this. But what it also feels like, and I'm sure other people are making this comparison, it feels like a direct-to-video sequel. That's what it is. It kind of harkens back to the days of when Disney was releasing a lot of those VOD sequels to their hit Renaissance era movies. Like Beauty and the Beast and like Lion King and Hunchback of Notre Dame. The thing is, though, at the very least, like, I can't speak for all those movies, Little Mermaid and stuff, but the Lion King ones were pretty damn good, right? I've sung their praises, chat. Like, okay, in terms of the animation, not as good as the films, but the stories are pretty inspired, the voice acting is pretty good, and the songs, surprisingly, were great. I mean, everyone remembers in Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, that zebra, deception, disgrace. It's like, damn, zebra, you good. It's like amazing.
Deception, disgrace.
Or you had like Scar's girlfriend, Scar's wife, or the mother of his successor that he named. She has that wonderful villain song, like, "That's my lullaby." It was like, damn, this is really good, right? So there was some, and then of course, Lion King 1.5 is super great. I really love that movie, the one where everything's from the perspective of Timon and Pumbaa, like before and during the events of Lion King. It's a great film. I really enjoyed it. This movie, Moana 2, wishes it was Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. It wishes it was Lion King 1.5, because even though those movies were direct to VOD, they at least put some effort into it. They just didn't half-ass it. There was some thought, there was some cleverness, there was some good music in those, some good voice acting. This one just doesn't really have that for the most part. Like, the one thing I can praise about is, like, yeah, the animation, it looks good. It does look good. I wasn't as wowed by it as I was in the original film, personally. But it's not like shitty animation. But just everything around it. So much of this movie, everything that surrounds it, is really shitty. And that's so disappointing, because the original Moana is a great animated film. It's a great movie. And is one of the best animated movies of the 2010s. And I don't know. I mean, I guess their thinking was like, listen, we need to make some money. We need to make some bank. Put together whatever you have of this and just throw it out there. But you can tell. You feel it watching the film. And that, to me, is very disappointing. It's just such an uninspired sequel. Like, they do something at the end that I'm like, this sets up something interesting. That I'd be like, all right, let's see what you could do with this. Like, I'm curious if they're gonna actually do a Moana 3. I mean, if they do, you gotta do something radically different, and you gotta bring in like Lin-Manuel Miranda. You gotta get the original directors involved, because not the original directors, not the same team. You know, you gotta get these fuckers they got. You know, I don't mean to mean to them, but they gotta fuck off. All right, they gotta get the hell out of here. I'm sorry. Thank you, but no thank you. Yeah, all right. Thanks for your effort. Good. Get the hell out of here. Let's get some proper people in here. But yeah, the Moana 2 is incredibly disappointing. One of the most disappointing animated sequels that I've seen in quite some time. I don't recommend it, but of course, make up your own minds. If you want to see it, go ahead and see it. Very curious your opinions. But those of you who have seen it, the movie's out very early, capitalizing on the Thanksgiving holiday. Those who have seen it, did you like it? You know, did you not like it? Were you more mixed on it, or did you downright despise it? Let me know.
5 minutes later.
What about you, Chad? What'd you think of Moana 2? Electric Boogaloo. Oh, let me see here. Jafar's Revenge. It's not even Jafar's Revenge. It does. I'd rather watch Jafar's Revenge than Moana 2. The third Land movie is actually really good. Bat Boy, you're welcome. Was a friend like me. Number from Moana was bouncy, catchy, funny. Yeah, this new song, like I can't think of any of the lyrics. Other than the Get Lost song, which I'm like, I want to listen to this again. Everything else, I'm like, you know what? It was the kind of, when they were singing, I was like, can we just skip this? Can we just get this over with? Can we just get back to like whatever we're doing right now? Like, that's pretty bad. If I actively I wish I had a remote control and I could have just pressed fast forward on the screen, and so it would have fast forward through all the songs. Like, these numbers are just not doing it for, except for the villain song, the not villain song. But you're right. Yeah, like, You're Welcome was really catchy. Aladdin and the King of Thieves was okay. Agreed on Lion King 1.5 and 2. The rest are pretty mediocre from memory. Yeah. Disgrace. Scar a wife? What? No way. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to say like a wife, because I think Scar was gay. He had a chosen successor. Well, Scar was like, he was fucking some lions. Yeah, I think he was stupping some lions. Clearly. But yeah, he had a chosen successor. It was Kovu, who happened to look just like him. And the mother of Kovu was like a Scar loyalist, basically. It was pretty cool. I read a one-line review for this that just said, why does the water in the first movie look better? Yeah. Towards the end of the movie, like the last third, the water starts to look really shitty. There's a plot reason why, but it just kind of looks dull. And they probably want to try and make it up for their last two Thanksgiving flops, Strange World and Wish. Oh, yeah, which this movie will make more than those. But fuck, Strange World, yeah. Wish was so shitty. Bishop, if this explodes the box office, sounds like it's going to do so. They will definitely do Moana 3. Yeah, I feel like they're going to do Moana 3. But which I'm not against, but they need to get a whole new creative team. I'm not like a whole new, like new directors, new writers, fucking, new writers of these songs. Like, get these other people out of here. No offense to them, but they need to fuck off. But yeah, I think it's gonna probably make a lot of money. And the thing is, though, like Katrina, she didn't like it either, as you heard in our theater reaction. But people in my audience were fucking clapping at the end. They were cheering. The kids were eating up. This movie is more for kids. Whereas the first Moana, and I think the best kind of animated films are the ones where, the best Disney animated films, let's say, right? Those mainstream Disney animated films, they're so great because they kind of feel like they're for everybody. It's not just children, but also for adults, too. Like Inside Out 2 is infinitely better than Moana 2. Because, yeah, it's an entertaining movie for kids, but it's also entertaining for adults. And it's very thoughtful, and it presents things in an interesting way, especially in regards to, like, anxiety and stuff like that. How do we personify anxiety? And they fucking nailed it, right? And that's when, like, they're firing on all cylinders. This one is just, you could tell that this is just kind of schlock. Yeah, give it to Ken Williams. He'll put a little pep in its step. I'm not seeing this. Second I heard it was being retrofitted being a show to a movie, and I said, oh, it's going to be terrible. Yeah, I think it's very bad. I recommend listening to the villain song, though. Listen to the villain, not villain song. Other than that, you could skip it. You'll hear Lin-Manuel Miranda next month with Mufasa. Yeah, that's right. But I don't give a shit about Mufasa. I really don't care. I'm going to go see, you know what we're going to go see? Katrina and I are going to go see on Christmas Day, or maybe Christmas Eve. We're going to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So expect my review. Most likely expect my review for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on Christmas Day. That'll be my Christmas present to you guys. I'm thinking about seeing it next week. Be warned, Mr. Berger. Be warned. Keith, did I like it? I'll never know. Edgy. Good to see Edgy, by the way. Now, if there was a TV series like it was supposed to be, would have it been better instead of condensing into a movie? Okay, so that's a great question. It's a great question. And I think what would have happened, this would have been released on, like, Disney Plus as a TV show. And I think I probably would have watched a few episodes and go, like, yeah, this is, it's not as good as the movie. But at least it's on Disney Plus. So what would have been actually interesting if, like, it's released in Disney Plus and it does all right, and they release, like, the proper Moana 2, and maybe they'll, like, reference, like, just a handful of things from the show or something, like, it'll be like little cameos of Moana's 3 annoying friends, then, like, whatever. I mean, it would have been better in that if we did go Moana 2, it wouldn't have been this. So yes, it would have been better if it was released as a show. So yeah, the answer is yes. But it still would not nearly have reached the same height. It just clearly doesn't reach the same heights as the original film. So you still would have had the same issue, but it's like, well, at least, it's kind of superfluous to everything. It's on Disney Plus. It's free. But still, doesn't measure up in quality. And then I guess you kind of just dilute the brand inevitably. But I think they've diluted even more in terms of releasing this film. So, but I don't know. It's making a lot of money. So, yeah, they don't care, sadly. It just shows that Disney Animation is strong when it comes to sequels. Wreck-It Ralph 2, Frozen. Oh, Frozen. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Frozen 2. Yeah. Frozen 2 is disappointing. And all these are underwhelming. Now I'm starting to get concerned about Zootopia. Because I love, that came out the same year as Moana. I love Zootopia as well. And that would just disappoint me if Zootopia 2 is just as bad. I do wonder if, excuse me, if Zootopia 2 is not like, it's like repurposed episodes, right? I hope not. If that's the case, then it's like, all right, expect more of the same. New creative team and retrofitted TV series into a film. Agreed. The last great theatrical Disney animation sequel is The Rescuers Down Under. I don't think that's true. let me look that up. That's a bold statement to make. That's a very bold, like, The Rescuers Down Under is like, that came out like when I was a kid. Hold on. The Disney animation. That's a very bold statement. Oh yeah, Nosferatu's on Christmas. I forgot. That too. Hold on. Oh, let me see here. All right. Disney animation. When did The Rescuers come out? Oh, it was in 1990. That movie came out before I was born. 1990. Then you had Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan, Fantasia, Dinosaur, Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, Leo and Stitcher, Planet Brother Bear, Home on the Range, Meet the Oh, shit. Tangled Me, The Pooh, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Big Hero 6. So, all right, fuck it. You're right. You know, Hamilton, I dismissed your comment. I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. Yeah, you're right. All right, I take it back. Never mind. Never mind. You're right. You're right. Okay. Fair enough. I stand corrected. After looking, I'm like, huh. Sounds like a straight up cash grab in the second worst variety behind the live action remakes. Yes, it is a cash grab. 100%. Another thing Inside 2 had going for add new characters and concept that felt thought out and earned. Yes. I'm looking forward to Nosferatu. Can't wait. I'm going to see that too. On Christmas Day, so I won't be seeing anything that day. Oh, no. Never mind. We're seeing Nosferatu. Yeah, Nosferatu. Maybe we can see, maybe we can do those back to back. We can do like Nosferatu on one day and then Sonic the next day or something. Nosferatu comes down to Quisiv. You go see Sonic, you're grounded. I want to see both. You can let certain shitty things slide a bit more if it's just, you can let it slide, but still it's like kind of dilutes it. But yeah, at least Frozen 2 had it I had that song in the unknown. Again, it had a song. Monsters Inc. has a TV show going on. It's not great, but it's decent. Moana 2 could have also worked better for a series. Yeah, that's what they should have just done. Henry Wreck-It Ralph 2, it wasn't very good. I like the original Wreck-It Ralph, but it wasn't very good. Just I'm back in the dinosaur times, I know. Dinosaur times. I have mixed feelings about both Wreck-It Ralphs and Breaks the Internet, and Frozen 2. Yeah, I didn't like any of those movies. I was like, I didn't care for those. It had like its moments, but it's like, oh. But yeah, Jim, I wanted to. Disappointing. I would recommend, if you want to see something new in theaters right now, I'd recommend going to see Wicked. Especially in terms of you want to see like a musical with some big songs. Yes, that's the film. That's the film to go see this Thanksgiving weekend. Or watch some new stuff at home. But yeah, Moana 2? Nah.